going to go ahead and it's 4:30, so we're going to go ahead and get the meeting started. Um, we'll do introductions, and then we're going to go through a slideshow that talks about what's up and coming. If you haven't signed in, please sign in over there. If you want to get weekly email blasts, please leave your email address. These are different than the ones that the town sends out. This comes directly from the construction team. So I'm Lynn Martins. I'm the public information manager on the project. So when you call or email, you usually will get me most of the time. We also have the downtownessloop.com website that you can get updates and also sign up for email blasts and whatnot. There's a question and answer page on there as well. We have been normally, I think this is our fourth meeting? Yeah, this is our fourth meeting. In the past, we have been doing breakout sections because we wanted to answer your questions individually. Last meeting, everybody asked that we do a Q&A as a group. So we will do that again this time. We just ask that whoever has the mic has the floor. So if everybody would not all talk at once and the person who has the mic asks the question, and then one of us will come up to the mic and answer it. So we're going to start with introductions. I'm going to start at this end and we'll move down.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Mahone, and I'm the Public Works Director for the town and also the town representative on the project team that's building the downtown Estes Loop. And thank you for coming this afternoon. We really appreciate you being here and look forward to talking about the project with you.
I'm Chris Hoffey. I am the project engineer representing Central Federal Lands Federal Highway Administration for the project. Got to hold the mic closer, yeah?
Yeah, Jim Kerrigan, Federal Highway. I'm the construction operations engineer for the project.
I'm Cody Payette, project engineer for Flatiron.
I'm Jacob Carley, project superintendent, Flatiron.
Justin Dumont, Flatiron Constructors project manager.
Thomas Draper, field engineer, Flatiron. Mitch Menard, field engineer, Flatiron.
I'm Isaiah Norman, assistant project engineer for Federal Highways, working under Chris.
And he's the tallest guy out there if you're ever walking around looking for someone to ask.
So I'm going to go through a quick construction progress on the big work we have. It's not going to show all the work we've been doing and what we've gotten done here in the previous, but up here, if you look at the wall, one of our significant progress reports is the retaining wall 4 and river work. As you can see in the bottom photo, we got most of the river done. We got to go in this photo, we're down there adding the rock. So we're pretty much wrapped up in the river for our work, and we got the fisherman drop structure down in there. So if you guys are walking by, look at it. It's not 100% complete, but we're getting pretty close. The big important part of this is we are out of the river finally. So it's going to make everything flow better, look prettier for the eye and everything like that. One of our next big milestones on this project is the concrete paving. Obviously, this is the actual loop. We got another big part of our phase 4 finished. We actually poured a couple of panels this week, and we still are planning May 15th for the traffic switch to finish our last phasing through that area to finally get this loop into final alignment and rocking and rolling. So, and clearly we got a crap ton more work going on. As you guys can see, it's not just these pictures you guys are looking at, but thank you.
Thanks. So you can see on the roundabout, going back one more slide, we've progressed that roundabout quite a bit. The last couple slides or meetings we've been to, we've kind of shown you. So you can see we've got the C. We just got to close in that last little bit there that we've been building on and moving traffic around through the configuration of maintaining traffic. So, you know, the roundabout is there, almost there, going in, as Jacob said, the last little phase we've got left. As Jacob mentioned in that part, we're going to be switching traffic next week, May 15th, and then we've got concrete paving in there. We've got 2 weeks of paving work, and then there's some finish work that's going to be going on before we open that fully to traffic, and also the roundabout on the center. So we'll be working on that curing time, and then we tie in some other work as those stairs that you can see. If you want to highlight the stairs. So there's also a set of stairs and a handicap ramp that's going to tie in some of that work. So we're trying to keep access into some of that area as well, and make sure that we can build those stairs safely because they tie in very close to that edge of roadway. So, there's a couple extra phases, and then also preparing that for landscaping, right at the shoulder of the roadway. So. We are working hard at this to get our concrete up to strength and get traffic switched onto the new pavement. So we're excited about that. The roundabout is coming into completion. So so some of our
You stated May 15th. I think you meant April 15th for the traffic switch.
sorry, our correction there. Sorry. Yep. Current upcoming work for phase 2. So we talked a little bit about the roundabout phasing. So as we showed in that last picture, we had some new concrete in the white that was recently paved, and that's going to allow us to move traffic in that configuration going westbound towards the park. And then we'll be able to open up the last remaining phase of concrete paving, tying into the loop and complete the rest of the circle. The post office parking lot rebuild. We are working on that right now, starting with the east side. As Jacob showed you in the pictures, we started at the river and working back towards the parking lot. Obviously, the intent is to get out of there with the high water, starting at the wall. We've got the first area of pavement stripped off and getting that ready for base and paving. We're going to be working to try and maintain access through that parking lot to the post office, and phasing that as we get into the warmer months that's kept us from being able to pave due to asphalt temperatures. Retaining wall 3 and stairs, we talked about that. I was just saying that that's a set of stairs that leads down from there just west of Snowy Peaks. Takes you down that grade, and then we'll have a pedestrian crossing over to the Riverside Drive sidewalk, and then access to Baldwin Park. We've started on the west half of East Riverside Drive from the bridge, which we opened up last November, I believe, to traffic, and we've started on the removals, curb and gutter, and again, we're waiting on asphalt temperatures here to get into the subgrade and paving for that section, and then we'll have that right-hand side opened up. Elkhorn reconstruction, we've built the north side of the roadway where we've got traffic detoured and pushed over to there at the signals. And then currently we were starting on the south side of the road right now with curb and gutter. And then we'll be working towards the businesses there with flat work, and then preparing that work for base and paving as we tie in the intersection as well. Signal work, currently we've got construction underway at the Elkhorn and Riverside intersection, or Elkhorn and Marine, sorry, where we have that intersection right now as a stop. The signals are being replaced, and we should have that work here by the end of the month. Plan to have those signals back up and operational. The Elkhorn and Riverside signal, we've got about half of that signal completed. There's two more mast arms to go in. To complete that work that will tie in with some of the phasing that's constricted us from having access to those foundations. And then we'll have that signal in full operation from where we've got it kind of half built right now with traffic.
I'll run through the roundabout paving here real quick, kind of like Justin was already talking. Up here we got, as of right now, we just got the last of the purple paved out this last week. The green and the red's done. We are switching over so we can build the blue phase there and get the roundabout closed up. And hopefully that work will start with removals here in the upcoming week. Our shift up there at the roundabout, the only thing that's really changing here that's compared to what's already out there, we now have a taper down from Davis Street going in towards that roundabout. That'll no longer be there. We'll be running straight through down on our new concrete. It'll still be a head-to-head traffic there going west and coming back east. Right at that location, we'll still keep that pushed over. We got a little asphalt left to build on that west side by Davis Street. And then down here at Elkhorn and Riverside, we'll be pushing everybody over to our new asphalt there from Riverside Bridge to Elkhorn, so we can get that free right and the new bull nose and the signals put up there at that intersection. This is kind of a quick overlook at the traffic pattern running through there. Purple's that blue phase we're going to be building in this next phase. And then post office parking lot. Right now we're up there on the top. We're building all that subgrade there in the yellow. We're going to be building the drive pan on the north side there, as well as that curb and gutter and the colored sidewalk at the river, and shooting to get that paved here first thing in May, middle of May. Or we'll be switching over and putting parking there on base to get down to this second phase at the bottom there, where we can start doing removals there and getting the concrete pad done for all the handicap spots and the delivery ramps and that drive pan there on the north side again. That's all concrete work we'll have to get done before we put any asphalt in. We will have constant changing pedestrian access to that from that east side there. Depending if we're working on the drive pan there on the north, we'll push everybody down and cross the new ADA ramps and crossings there on the south side. And if we got a little bit of sidewalk there in front of the post office, and we'll be pushing everybody to the other side on the north side to cross those ADA ramps to get to the post office and those businesses along that sidewalk right there. Our sidewalk up there on the top left, pretty much by that octagon, that's about our extent of what we're rebuilding the sidewalk. We will not be rebuilding or taking out the sidewalk in front of the businesses north of that spot. It'll be open, and you'll just be accessing there from around the edges of the parking lot.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is I'll stand up and I'll add the mic. If you guys just want to raise your hands when you have a question, I'll bring the mic, and then we can answer by stepping up to the mic here because we're down one mic. So, but this is the information on how you stay connected that I spoke about earlier. So yeah, and then if you wrote your email address down here, I'll make sure to get you into the weekly email blasts that come out from the team. I'm going to go with him first because he had his hand up.
Just a small thing, the sidewalk on East Riverside, when's that supposed to be completed?
North, are you talking north of Riverside Bridge there, or are you talking down towards Misty Mountain?
I think where there's a bus pull-off right now that you're setting up.
You guys, speak into the mic,
yeah.
please.
So our remaining sidewalk is at the bus pullout. We just got a little bit to do the tie-in on that backside to tie into Riverside Bridge. The only other thing I can say is everything's open that way. Be very cautious walking through. But down on the far north side of that whole intersection in Dairy Queen parking lot, Hombre parking lot, that's all getting ripped out in the next configuration. So all of that still gets redone in front of the restrooms and that whole corner where we have it ripped out now. So right now, from Misty Mountain down, we're good until you get to the restrooms, and then that's the next progression of work through there.
Yes, about what time period? That's
The bus stop area.
The bus stop area, we're pushing start getting concrete in there early next week. We got it all curb and gutter, everything in there. We just got to get the sidewalk, the 6-foot sidewalk behind it. So hopefully in the next week.
Does that answer your question?
And I want to clarify, the north of that Riverside Bridge is going to take longer than that because we haven't started ripping it out yet. It's probably going to be more end of May.
Yeah, that north
Yeah. So I just want to make sure.
Thank you. I have three things. When are we going to see the Rockwell Bridge completed? I didn't hear about that.
I don't have an exact date for you right now.
Do you have a year?
2024. We're
You
Yeah.
know off the deck and then.
Yep.
Pave it, so it's predicated.
Yep. So we're trying to get this whole east side done of the post office parking lot, and we got a little bump out there on Rockwell, and a couple ADA ramps we're trying to get done before we let traffic through there and congest that area. But once we get that done, we're looking to get that opened up, and that's kind of right now. It's pending on our asphalt plants being able to open up.
Somewhat related to that, is there any way to get a stop sign on the Riverside Thruway where the post office parking lot comes in? Because when that temporary traffic light releases on Moraine, there's a stream of cars that come by and there's no way you can get out. It's just a constant stream and it's dangerous because you don't have a clear sight line. And that's the only exit from the post office parking lot and from, I forget what the name of it is, Greg,
That other parking lot over there.
yeah, the Riverside lot. That's the only exit out, and traffic just backs up waiting. Just a temporary sign that would stop traffic long enough.
We can
for
look
people
into
to get
that
out.
and see if it can work. I know with the traffic going down there, it'd back up some things more, but we'll take a look at that and see what we can do to get either a flagger there or a temporary sign there during the busy times of the day.
And then, last but not least, the pedestrian traffic downtown is just a mess. And I've talked to Greg about this, but I saw a family pushing a family member in a wheelchair. They're approaching the intersection. They had to go all the way around. There's no curb cuts. There's no warning signs that say sidewalk closed until you get there. And then you find out the sidewalk's closed. And it's dangerous. I've seen people jaywalking with baby carriages across Elkhorn to get from the north side to the south and vice versa. Can you please do some improvement for pedestrians? We have things here called tourists.
Yep. Yes, sir. We can look at it and see what we can do. You go ahead and
So,
you want to have
so
some more?
to follow upon that comment, after we received that email at the project level of your concerns regarding that, we did a project-wide scrub of what the pedestrian traffic looks like and make sure the signage is legible, readable, and correct. Obviously, it sounds like more room for improvement on that. But yeah, we have, since we received that email, we did a project-wide scrub walk through the entire job to look at that. Okay, perfect. And again, for the entire audience, if you guys see something, if folks see something out there that we don't see or we are not cognizant of like this, definitely bring it to our attention through the email address that Lynn's got up there. And then we will certainly take a look at that and see if it's feasible. And the stop sign at configuration there at the post office sounds good. We have to look at what would that happen as far as backups if that was implemented, a stop sign to let traffic out. The other part of that is we are seeing that even though this is the one-way configuration of this loop's been in play for several months now, almost until what, last October was it? We put it in that. We have found people that are not following the signs and driving the wrong way on one-way roads, and they haven't been following stop signs and stopping. So I mean, it's a major disruption to the traffic flow of the town that's been going on for decades, right? That things are changing around, but we need the public to understand that the signs are there for a reason, and it's not for us to work on the roads. It's for everybody to be safe and not have a head-on collision. But it's a daily event we're seeing out there that there's an errant car that takes a left, goes down Moraine the wrong direction. So no matter how many signs we put out there, people got to read them and follow them. So appreciate your help on that as well.
You mentioned the new sidewalk and the pedestrian crosswalk kind of in the loop area. Is there going to be a signal for pedestrians to be able to cross easily? Because it seems like there'd be quite a bit of traffic there.
So not at the stairs, there won't be a signal. There is going to be a signal, I believe, on Moraine right there. Actually, it's down farther, Mitch. Other side of the bridge. Keep going, right there. There's going to be a signal there that's closer to that intersection, and there's also going to be a signal on Riverside Drive, down by the bathrooms, north of Riverside Bridge there. There'll be a signal put up there.
What about that new pedestrian walkway?
There will, as of right now, there's no plans to have a signal there.
I'm involved with the duck race, which is May 4th, and a lot of the activity will be happening at Riverside Plaza. And I'm curious as to whether the fencing that's currently up by the Dairy Queen restrooms, where that crosswalk is coming over to the park, will all that fencing still be up on May 4th, or will some of it be down? And how will it be easiest for the guests to enter the Riverside Plaza?
Yeah, in that area right there that you're discussing right across from the restrooms, we actually pulled all that fence back. The only thing it is blocking is right at the bridge. That access there, we have a pile of material, but all the crosswalk, everything should be open through that area. Yeah.
On May 4th, I mean, so is May 4th, is that construction going to be complete by then?
The actual roadway and construction, no, but the crosswalk, everything will be open for full access like it is right now.
And that southeast corner there, we will still be doing work on that southeast corner. We are planning to have that southwest corner in front of the businesses and along there by what's going to be the new creperie and Intajuice. We're shooting to have opened up by the end of this month is our goal. If not, it'll be a little later than that, unfortunately, but that's our plan right now, is try to get it open for the duck races.
I'm a follow-up to a previous question or comment. My husband and I live downtown. We walk downtown almost every day or every other day. So he's a civil engineer by background, so it's always interesting to him. And we enjoy doing it. And I just want to say, everybody from Flatirons and we have talked to has just been very cooperative, ready to give any answer. I mean, I'm really impressed. He is really impressed as well as the response we get. If we ask questions, well, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? As opposed to dismissing us. So kudos to Flatiron on that. I just want to tag on to this intersection at Riverside Drive and Elkhorn. We walked it again 2 nights ago. We live here, we live downtown. We couldn't figure out how to get across Elkhorn still. Early in the project, somebody did make kind of a walkway with arrows to show where to go, which was good. That's not there now. We finally walked down a ways and walked east a ways, walked west a ways, and finally decided we could go through that parking lot and get across Elkhorn. It's really awkward. To somebody that lives here, it's really awkward. To somebody that's a visitor here, or as he mentioned, has baby strollers or a wheelchair, it's impassable. And I'll just tell you what my husband said. He said, it looks like it was left to be decided by the guys that are doing the concrete work, but it needs to be an upper level management decision on directions, arrows, or whatever, just to make it more user friendly. We're messing up downtown. We need to kind of go over and above what might be expected to make it easier for tourists to be downtown during this.
Yep. So we can get a new map made and get that put up on our website, just for people to have view of it. Right now, our detour on Riverside is taking everybody down in front of Casa Grande, down the restrooms, down the Riverwalk, up past Dairy Queen, and then going down to the lighted crosswalk there on Elkhorn. And if you're on the other side, we got a crosswalk. We just repainted it, I think Monday, mid-block on Elkhorn, and that's where we're trying to detour people to go across there. And yeah, but we'll walk through it again and take a look, make sure signs are, again, up and not blown over and laying down like a lot of them might be. So, but we'll make sure they're more visible. And
the weekend didn't help
Yep.
either, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh, not at all.
In another place, and so we come back and move them again. We had a fight with one sign that I think got moved 4 or 5 times by the team. So, yeah. Colleen?
So first, I want to say thank you. I'm Colleen with the Chamber, so yeah, I'm the one sending all the emails. So I appreciate your responses and for getting back, because all those are coming from our business owners. So those quick responses, or at least a real response, has been awesome to give back to them. But when we look at the timing, like this is phase 2, what's that timeline, like the end of June? So like, I guess, what do we expect? I have 2 questions. One, is Virginia Avenue really going to open Friday? This is where you all go like this, right?
Cody, why don't you go ahead?
You better stand up.
So we have some signal work that's got to get done there. So we're going to have to turn those signals dark. So we're trying to keep it closed through next week to allow those guys to have room to work. And our plan is to open it for Bigfoot Days and have it opened up and ready for you. But we're just trying to get as much work done without having to deal with the extra traffic and make it safe for our guys.
So the timing on this, so what does the summer look like? Like, okay, like is this, what happened, is that through June? And then, so what are we looking at when, May and June are busy here, but nothing compared to July through October?
So this configuration we're switching into is going to be here for probably the next 2-3 months. We will have random changes there, kind of at the Elkhorn Riverside intersection with how we've had to phase the work. We'll have some asphalt we got to dig out so that traffic will kind of get moved around a little bit. But there won't be much difference in this phasing for pretty much the foreseeable future until we're almost done. So.
We have a parade July, so the rodeo parade. They got it.
That'd be accommodated like it was last year.
One way. Okay.
Thank you, and thank you for having this format. I really appreciate it. You may know that behind the scenes there's been a little more expression of frustration by some business owners that are usually fairly low-key. So I think that would indicate that they're starting to get a little concerned. And just for example, that 12th of April, that's when, I'm not in that area, but that was, yes, it's going to open up for you back there at Images of Rocky Mountain National Park. That's unfortunate that it's not. Because it was presented as, hey, your things are almost over. You can have your traffic now back there. I think for those of us that are on Moraine, we've gone through the stages of grief. I don't even know the stages of grief, but I'm past anger and I'm just kind of resignation. And it's not you that we're going to start getting maybe worked up a little bit about. It's, did our town understand the impact on individual businesses, and did they set up a fund to make some people not have to suffer the way they're suffering? And you're starting to see some more, again, I wish there were more businesses that could tell you in person that they're, yeah, good. Yeah, and I appreciate that, and again, it's we're with you, we understand, but until monetary compensation comes, we've lost 2 businesses on Moraine, and that's, we're going through this winnowing out period, which I don't know if people understood when the loop was a done deal, and that can be a little bit sad. And so we all emerge stronger. We all get it. It'll be better when it's done. But as I say, it's not your issue now, because I think you've distributed what money you're going to distribute to the people where you're actually impacting them by taking some of their property or using some of their rights away for parking construction equipment on. The people who didn't get money, I think, are the people who are going to maybe, perhaps, it's an interesting town, maybe start mobilizing and saying, okay, we got to find another pathway to, not with grants, not with loans, we need to be made somewhere close to not losing 80% of our business downtown. So again, I appreciate this format. I appreciate you letting us talk like this, because part of this is just letting us be heard what you're saying you are hearing. And thank you for having it so that the whole room can hear and that you respond. I appreciate that.
Yeah, as I said before, when we had it in the other format, it wasn't that we didn't want to address the questions. We just know that everybody, right, is impacted a little differently individually. And so we wanted to have it be a little bit more intimate setting. Yeah, no, and I think this is great, and we appreciate everybody, answering questions. And Greg, do you want me to pass that to you? That's not something that the construction. Well, I mean, it's not I've said this before. As a team, we're here to fill an order, and so those sort of compensation questions. That's not something that.
And it's not great because Greg did the right thing by responding to images of Rocky Mountain National Park and 3 gems and saying, we understand.
Correct.
So, yeah,
It's just that Greg's with the town, so I don't know.
There are some new trustees here,
Okay.
and I wanted the new trustees to hear
Okay.
that are coming on board. And they already
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
or they wouldn't have run for town.
Yeah. Okay.
That there are some people that are starting to get really nervous about this.
Yeah. We hear you, and again, that's not something really the construction crew can address right now. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You have another question?
That's great. That's all right. I've been sitting in meetings all day. It's good.
Going back to Jamie's question about a secure crosswalk, if someone wanted to walk from the Barrel to Rock Cut Brewery, how would they get there safely?
That's two different.
Two different scenarios there. Shortest way?
Yeah. So you can walk down the alley. The best way right now is currently to walk down the alley there towards the post office in the middle of Elkhorn. Oh, after it's finished?
Yeah, there'll be a crosswalk down there.
Yeah, crosswalk down
south
at
of the-
Elkhorn, and you could either go down to Elkhorn
Yeah.
and walk up. You'll be able to walk up all the way Riverside, cross going onto the new Ivy Bridge, and you can walk all the way up. You can either go through the park or on either side of Riverside Bridge, and get onto that path that goes all the way up to that entrance of Piccadilly Square. No, there will not. There'll be a sign there, a crosswalk sign there, and then a painted out crosswalk. Yep.
And did you just address that, Cody? Didn't you say that there's going to be a crosswalk south of the roundabout as well, or?
There will be one north. It's not a painted crosswalk, but there is ADA ramps on the south side of the roundabout as well.
Okay.
No signal.
And pedestrians have the right of way, so hopefully.
I'm sorry, I don't know any streets in this town, and I should. It's pathetic. But the signal that is by like Molly B's to cross to the trading post or to full throttle, that's kind of just, you push a button and it lights up when someone's there. I'm sure there's a fancy word for that. Could something like that be implemented? Because I don't understand how people are going to successfully cross that new bridge with so much traffic coming through out of the park.
Good question, Jamie. At Molly B's, that flashing pedestrian device is called an RRFB, rectangular rapid flash signal. So that exists, and that will continue. That will remain after the project. The new crosswalk down by the Davis lot near Snowy Peaks, that crosswalk will have a rectangular rapid flash beacon as well. The question you're asking is, will there be one on Riverside at the bottom of the stairs next to Snowy Peaks? The short answer is no. The longer answer is that idea was discussed during the design phase with CDOT, and the analysis showed that the projection was that the pedestrian volumes would not be large enough to justify that level of control for the ped crossing. So the idea was considered, it was evaluated, and it was not implemented at that particular location.
And then also, so at the bridge there, the crosswalk's on the south side of the bridge from Riverside, and there is a stop sign for traffic coming out onto it, so you should not have to deal with anybody but turning traffic coming off of Ivy Bridge.
These are all really excellent questions, you guys.
Hi. I've noticed on the weekends that There's not a lot of attention paid to some of the detail with traffic moving through town. Our high point of traffic is Friday afternoon until Monday morning. And it seems like most of the crew is not there. When there's a small signal issue at Riverside and Elkhorn, all the traffic goes into one lane for some reason. It backs up through 34 and 36. It seems to be traffic is waiting at that signal for no traffic that's coming from Riverside for a long time. It backs up persistently. It's getting worse. Traffic is growing. It doesn't have to be a lot of volume for that traffic to go all the way down 2 blocks to get into that intersection. It's just one issue. I understand that the 4-way stop will be at Elkhorn and Moraine through the end of the month. That traffic volume is increasing. It's very helpful to have a live human making those decisions with the 4-way stop during the day. I wonder what the plan is for that intersection into the weekends and as we move closer to the summer as volume grows. Those are just the first 2 things off the top of my head. Thank you.
Thanks for the feedback, Mark, on the weekend traffic signal operation. I want to confirm that I heard you accurately. Were you speaking of the traffic signal at Elkhorn and Moraine, and you were describing backups on Elkhorn that extend eastward back to 34, 36, and it's because of the traffic, because of the phasing, the traffic signal's not giving enough green time at Riverside? Right. Okay. Excellent feedback. Appreciate that. CDOT is the sole manager, operator, and owner of those traffic signals and the boxes, the traffic controller boxes. And so this is good feedback that we'll have to pass on to CDOT and have discussion with them on potentially altering the phasing and the programming in the controller. They are not. There's a CDOT representative here, but not a representative from their traffic operations group. Sure. And what was your second question? Refresh my memory.
The 4-way stop. And
yep. So we discussed that today at our weekly partnering meeting. The agency partners meet with the contractor every Wednesday afternoon and talk about current issues pertaining to the project. Today at our meeting, we set up a follow-up meeting tomorrow morning at 9 to go out there and physically observe that stop sign control. And we want to run it without flagger control and see how the motorists act. And if there's low confidence that the motorist can navigate that without flagger control, then our plan is to have flagger control over the weekend.
I think part of that is the fence that is right there. You can't see it coming. Like when I'm coming down Bighorn to go up Moraine, I can't see traffic coming this direction, and they can't necessarily see the cars by the glass blower store right there.
You're
So
talking
that's-
about traffic on Bighorn traveling southbound.
Yes, well, headed towards, yes, up Moraine.
Okay.
And then like they can't, because that fence is right there, the people headed west can't see
yeah,
anybody going this way. So there's this touch and go constantly, like, can you see, can you see? So that's part of it right there. So the flagger helps, but when I'm there without it, it's a little sketchy.
So over there, we had a trench right there where we had the fence to keep pedestrians out.
Totally.
They actually got it flow filled. We got millings going over there, so that fence will be gone soon. So you can see to your left.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. One thing I notice, I drive through that roundabout quite often. I drive, straight through so to say, the traffic coming from the national park, especially now that the line is there, some of them are flying, and I don't know how to get them to slow down. I'm going to buy a dash cam because I'm going to get nailed. The amount of times that I go through that a day is a lot, and it is very close to being hit several times a day. I don't know if there's enough yield signs or if there's enough slow down or what you can do in that 2 blocks to educate everybody that's coming from the national park that just looked at all the pretty elk and have their minds elsewhere coming into the traffic. Because it's a little scary right there sometimes, especially when that light turns green and everybody's like, here we go. So that's all I have to say. But thank you. You guys are doing great. And you're all really nice when we talk to you. So I appreciate that so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Do we have any? Yeah.
We'll look into the sign to see if we can add something.
Yeah.
So many signs, people don't pay attention to anyways, but we'll look at it and see what we can do and get another sign up if we need to.
But Greg said they read 10% of them, right? Is that what you told me?
Did they read 10%? They only read 10% of the signs?
Don't quote me on hard factual percentages of the motorists that pay attention to signs. My personal conclusion is that it's low.
Do we have any other questions? We're going to wrap it up here. We will be having one more meeting, our final meeting. And when were we going to do that? In the fall before, like we do usually, end of summer? End of summer. And yeah, we do appreciate your feedback. We know construction is never easy, right, for any of us. We all live through it. Took me a while to get up here from the Front Range this morning because I was stuck in a construction zone. So we appreciate your patience. We know it's not easy. Hang in there with us and just reach out whenever you want to. Sure.
And then, the team here is going to be hanging out after the meeting adjourns. So if there's personal questions you want to come up and talk to any one of us, we can certainly be available to answer those as best we can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.